Attention gamers. I think the wide majority of League players view Riot's buffs and nerfs completely wrong when it comes to League of Legends, so I'm about to drop a fat 200 IQ knowledge bomb on you to explain why. Let's take this pathetic, potentially bisexual Piltover mall cop as an example. Riot has been looking at her saying, hey, it's 2023, let's let her identify as something not completely useless in the current state of our buggy, anger-inducing game, so over the last few patches they have been buffing the literal shit out of her. All of these buffs are directed towards the power of crit and attack speed on her. So the natural reaction is that spamming crit and attack speed builds on her is going to be OP. No. These stats are getting buffed because they are weaker than other stats and other builds, so they are just getting brought back to a balanced state. But then all the rubbernecking freak viewers start rushing attack speed crit items, but this is wrong. For Caitlyn, you didn't see her AD ratios or her ability damage get buffed, which to me means the high AD lethality ability damage builds were already strong enough to not need a buff. So now those same lethality mythic builds that already had some crit built into them are actually hidden OP because the crit attack speed elements are no longer weak as shit. Think of it this way, you have a boxer. He's proven to be the best boxer by beating a bunch of not actual boxers. But he's a right-hander and focuses on a strategy around landing a big fat righty. Let's say his left is weak, it's worn out from years of Disney Channel acting, and so it's behind in strength to his right. He wants to be a bit more balanced, so he gets a brace for his left that buffs its stability. He's not gonna pivot his strategy to a lefty jab attack priority, he's still gonna be a right-handed slime zone slugger just with a bit less weakness to complement what he's already doing. So today I will show how, while everyone is rushing attack speed bullshit after reading these patch notes, there are actually two specific builds, neither of which are attack speed or crit, that now make Cait incredibly strong after her latest buffs. And just like patch notes, people think about meal plans the wrong way. You see a lot of us look like this but really wish they could look like this, and they think some extreme cooking regimen or eating literal cow balls is what it takes to grow 6 abs and display them in a pack, but the best diet is one you can stick with, and there's nothing easier to stay consistent with than popping already made meals in the microwave. Consistency for me is about the 3 C's. Convenience, cost, and taste. That's where Factor, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. With Factor you literally just select your preferences in terms of what meals you want, then how many mukbangs you have scheduled for the week. You select your meals and then bam, fresh, healthy, inexpensive meals are delivered to your door that you can enjoy within minutes of popping them in the microwave. It's a dream for a gamer like me who doesn't have time to worry about cooking a proper diet because he's too busy getting flamed in a video game that causes him emotional distress. So use my link in the description or scan this QR code and use code POGRAVAugust50 to get 50% off your first box of Factor today. Alright, now all the little know-it-alls crawling out of Freak's asshole will probably be saying go fleet footwork or make your tempo lethal and rush Infinity Edge like a Marvel fanatic virgin, but the first build is a Dark Harvey Duskblade Rush. I got mid because I'd rather be strapped upside down to a hippo's inner thigh while it's taking a shit than to lane with an autofilled support in this piss pit elo, and I immediately want to get in right-click battles with David Blaine here because I win if we are both low when my runes are rocking more execute than a chair in death row. That way he'll have slurped all his Kool-Aids just to get back to full health, so when I order the largest disco ball NA to be rolled in, I will be in a prime position to tell Mr. Blaine he may want to reshuffle because he has only shit cards to play in this one. Then I decide to hit a quick roam up top because it turns out Bladed Betty can't focus around the man bulge coming through those tight white leggings that Jeff Zide is rocking in her lane, and while I probably should have ulted immediately, between the few thousand of us I wasn't sure at this point it would have finished him, and I wanted to steal the kill, so I may have just cost the bitch her life only to walk all the way there, escort the disco dick in for a little I don't need to see you to shit in your mouth before throwing a net on that dog and putting him down. Turns out Chris Angel is testing his card tricks on my tower while I'm gone, asking if its card was blue, but it was like nah dog, so he taps out looking up how to do the trick again only to take 2 tower shots in the process. This makes him a future victim of the cosmic jizz ball Zamboni into Cait Ace in the a-hole combo. I head top to formally apologize to this Aurelia for letting her die in person. You know, actions speak louder than words, and I was to gesture that I am sorry for being selfish by setting up the Times Square New Year's ball in her lane while subsequently trying to time my abilities once again to steal her kill, but the EDM rave Noone gets it instead. Long story short, I'm fed and TF is off jerking off in some corner taking the jokers out of his deck or something, so I'm pushing harder than someone with IBSC until Frisbee Francine comes in asking why I would play Kate mid instead of bot, so I say, oh silly 9-year-old, I think the best way for me to answer that question is to literally miss every single one of my abilities on you and still piss on your tits like I own you. I want to fast forward a bit to bot lane where we are filming a new episode from a series called Ganks Gone Wrong, and don't worry folks, this one is known to feature just as many if not more flashes than the sister series you probably watch alone in dark rooms at night, but I did want to show that even in the midst of a gluten-free certified shit fest I still slapped that Sivir and then made a 200 IQ escape before the recording cut out for a minute. Second item, always collector with these builds by the way, even though I know you are all more invested in the storyline of me demeaning this Aurelia and stripping her of the respect she deserves while having done nothing but tried to steal her kills all game, and so I want you to know that pattern absolutely continued, and I don't feel bad because Aurelia mains deserve to step on a Lego every single goddamn time they wake up to take a piss at night. It's now a good time I decide to do that thing where I take the fat disgusting advantage my teammates have gotten from me and throw it away by running barefoot through the enemy forest where there's itsy bitsy spiders and water spouts and sick as fuck flashes that I couldn't wait to show you all from the second it happened. Totally worth me wasting my summoner spell there instead of taking the free inhibitor mid. Can I get a hard stuck hallelujah in the comments please? Anyways, this set is kamikaze split pushing like he has a tattoo of the boss FF on his ass cheek, and to his credit this shit almost caught me flat-footed, but we get him down right as the David Blaine announces something epic is gonna happen, which in this case was a grand entrance followed by him making himself disappear right in front of our eyes. Sivir comes back a few minutes later and is like, hey Mr. Look, I'm a level 13 now, and I'm like, look you silly bitch, you must have never played Pokemon when Gary was always 2 steps ahead of your dumb ass with shit that was super effective against you, so eat this snowball and this iron and stop going bot you dumb bitch. Is what I should have said to her, but I actually gifted her a skin after the game and told her she played really well. Bloodthirster into Storm Razor next for the shitters taking notes if the team doesn't have giga tanky tits, as I needed the lifesteal considering I was running into this little fungus gerbils poison ivy patches all game, so when the opportunity came for me to kill his ass I greeted harder than EDP 445 with cupcakes at stake, so let's just thank my Ignite for being a go-getter and allowing me to charge up an ult that did 50% of Elise's health right after. So anyways, at this point I still have enough crit to benefit from the recent buffs it adds to my abilities, but with a lethality mythic and assassin runes my abilities are banging so many broads you'd think they wrote the book on Riz. Oh, and it's worth noting that your auto attacks do still pack a punch. Get fucked Bulbasaur. But having insane burst with an execute on all abilities just feels better. Also, Aurelia was having such little fun that she actually wanted to surrender, so my side quest in this one was accomplished along with a lot of fat fucking ults before we ended up securing the dub a few minutes later. The second build is arguably the best build after these changes. First strike is just fat swanky Jane Nasty with her ult and minion dematerializer being used on all 3 minion types allows your lethality Qs to clear waves insanely fast. I am stuck bot lane in this one, but fortunately their support was filming her own video on why Evelyn's support is something that no human on this planet would recommend rolling. It got to the point where I didn't even think she was worthy of getting hit by my abilities and obviously missed them on purpose, humiliating myself just to make her feel less bad, only for fucking Lux the dumb blonde to not understand what I was doing and to come kill her off instead. I get an early ghost blade and then I'm pushed up more than a teen's tits on TikTok putting traps down, hoping this bitch changes her name to Miss Unfortunate after stepping on not 1 but 2 in a row like a grade A bimbo, so I slurp up her ATM pin and then I kite away from the sex ant waiting for Lux to come and save the day, and then fail to outplay Riot's buggy hitbox code as I then announce that I left my accuracy in the car before one more auto from the baton twirler takes the cake. Then there's a bit of formalities that need to take place as an ADC, where every game when you play this role you have to be the victim of at least one 3-person tower dive where you have your flaccid dick in hand, knowing that Faker's great-grandpa himself couldn't outplay this situation, so I take the first shift and then a minute later their MF serves her mandatory sequence as well. Now we're deeper than a dildo inside of Anne Morant's ass nightstand drawer, but I can still kill the BDSM bug before heading mid to show Toph that she may have 2 levels on me, but 2 items with these build and runes is enough to sing her a lullaby and put her right to bed. I keep pushing with 2 wards in my bag because literal silver elo courses through my veins until I get notified that sexy Lexi wants to try and charm me, but I only swing that way for Vi, so I yell combo and then a blonde pops out and yells wombo. This leaves Optimus Prime side hoe less than a Teemo's tickle from meeting her maker, so I flash and send a laundry iron her way to do the job. Now with this build you don't want to runaway auto attack click kiting or whatever the elo ego fuckwads in chat who write the mouth breathing MOBA fire guides will recommend. You just want to set traps, and then once you've caught a live one you do Q into auto into profit. Soon enough you will be positioned worse than a raw cucumber at an all-female prison, and that's why you carry around that giant net on you at all times. And I promise you, whatever joke you've heard about dumb blondes, it's not nearly as embarrassing as the one where J3's son struck out trying to fuck one. Anyways, at this point I push my alt button on every squishy target I see, and then I like to use the fact that I have more range than a souped up cyber truck to do a bit of tomfoolery over the walls. Eventually a rock bender may come and try to earthquake you into submission, but that's when you remind her that you understand how to abuse the patch notes to find OP builds. Anyways, I don't know what channel this Evelyn runs, but I wish I did, because the footage she was getting for the "Why Evelyn support is useless" garbage was literally fire, and I would have loved to see the end product. But anyways, Miss Unfortunate made another quick appearance but couldn't stay long before I got to enjoy back-to-back games where I was an utter dick to an Aurelia. Did you hear the one where their team support got Kate ulted at 60% health and survived? Yeah, neither did I. That said, 20 minutes into the game my headshots were already doing more emotional damage than the ones I took in grade school where they'd give out those quote-unquote unbreakable plastic combs, and my life's mission would be to break them. But the point is, you can play this like utter shit, miss half your abilities, have to get bailed out on repeat, and it'll still feel strong as long as you understand that crit attack speed buffs just mean that an already strong lethality based build can be complemented by them to become even stronger. And with that I just want to say, Rav out.